Well, it's Trial Tuesday, and today we're talking about bail bonds and how they exactly work. Our good friend, attorney David Aylor, is joining us with more. Bail bonds.
Right.
Lots of folks get them sometimes. Most people don't want to have one.
Absolutely. You don't want to have one, but if you need one, you definitely want one.
Okay.
You know, what a lot of people need to understand is that in general, most people, when they go in, if it's a minor offense, criminal offense, they're going to get a PR bond, which means personal recognizance, meaning that they'll be able to show back up to court. They know that they're local, they don't have a prior record, they're not a danger, so they don't have to pay anything. But then you also have other circumstances when that's not the case, and they actually set a bond, which is called a surety bond.
Okay.
And what that means is that a person actually has to come up with that amount of money. So for instance, if someone had a charge of assault and battery first, they may have a surety bond set for $20,000.
Okay.
So either they have to come up with the $20,000 themselves, or they could actually go through a bail bonding company. And with the bail bonding companies, they're going to put the money up. They're going to put their name on the line, their credit, and then you're going to pay them a percentage, usually somewhere between 8 and 10%, so that you're not having to pay the full bond. Now that is money that you pay on interest, so you don't get that money back from the bail bondsman, even if the charge is dismissed. Because the way the system works, and people sometimes forget this, particularly on high-profile cases that maybe they feel strongly about, is everybody is considered innocent the way the system is supposed to work.
Proven guilty.
Right. Although, of course, we know in the public, a lot of times when you see somebody arrested for something, the first thing you think is, you can't believe he or she did that.
Right.
But you're not supposed to be punished for something that you haven't been convicted of. So most cases, you're able to get out on bond. The two things that they look at, again, is going to be danger to the community, threat to the community, and then, of course, that's going to include your prior record, what you're charged with, and then are you a flight risk, meaning are you going to get on the road?
Bring that up, flight risk, take off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we saw the affluenza kid. That was down in Mexico that was brought back in the United States. It's just some really crazy things going on. Some of the more high-profile cases that are going on right now in Charleston.
You know, you see a couple of different ones. For instance, obviously people have strong feelings about former Officer Slager, who was set out on bond. In that situation, he was denied bond originally, but then the judge saw a change in circumstances within the case regarding the timeline, and so then he had a bond set. And that's very normal in a lot of cases where there may be an initial bond that's denied, like for instance, a murder charge can only be set by a circuit court judge. And then if something changes within the circumstances of the case and the judge deems that proper, then he or she may set a bond. Because again, no matter what the charge is, whether it's something as small as shoplifting all the way up to murder, you're still innocent till proven guilty. So the system is supposed to work that you should be out if at all possible. However, you do have people that have bonds set and they just simply can't afford to get out with the amount of money set on the bond.
The Slager case, you're saying the judge saw a little difference in the timeline. What is that?
Right. Basically what that means is anytime you're initially denied bond, by like he was denied, the only way to go back is if there's a change in circumstances with the case. That change could be so many different types of things, and that's what the judge has to determine if what you bring forward is. In that case, what the judge stated was that the fact that the case was not going to go to trial for some delayed period of time was a change in the circumstances, and therefore gave him the reason to reconsider the bond and then grant the bond. But that's going to be subjective to each and every judge. That's why one case you may see a judge do one thing, another case a judge may do something completely different. So
much to consider on each basis.
Right.
Each individual in each basis, in each case.
Every single case is different, and that's sometimes hard for people to understand when they try to compare it. All you're going to do is frustrate yourself.
Attorney David Aylor, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. We've got more coming up in just a moment, so stay with us.